One of the feature games here at Wyopreps for the first round of the Wyoming High School football playoffs takes us to Class 3A with third-ranked Powell on the road at fourth-ranked Buffalo and visiting with Powell coach Chase Kistler. And Chase, coming off a tough loss last week to your rival and Cody there, how is your team bouncing back as you get ready for the playoffs?
Well, like we told them that, it's end of the regular season. It's whole new season now. It's, your records are all 0-0. And I always kind of throw in there, like, if you want another crack at, Star Valley, if you want another crack at Cody, you've got the opportunity to, if you take care of business this week, which, is Buffalo in Buffalo. And, they're playing well this year. They're big up front. And so we got our work cut out for us, but they bounced back. It's tough losing that close of a game, in that manner on their home field. But, our guys know that the bigger picture is trying to win a state championship.
So what are your thoughts on Buffalo as you get ready for the Bison? Seems like you guys might be pretty similar squads, at least statistically, but that doesn't always tell the whole picture.
Yeah, I can tell that they are a very run heavy team. Up front, they're big. They're pretty aggressive on defense, pretty aggressive on the line. They run a lot with their quarterback. I noticed that, for big time, when they want a big time down, I even see them run 3rd and 15, 3rd and 12. It's quarterback counter. And that's kind of rare, which for a few years of my years, it's been, what's your favorite play? Counter. So it does resemble a little bit of of each other. I think we like to pass a little bit more, especially when we've got all of our receivers healthy. We got Trey going, and hopefully we get AJ back this week. So we're very similar in terms of we want to establish the run game. We just might air it out just a little bit more than they do.
This might be the first time this season where elements play a bigger factor than they have. How do you deal with something like that, especially preparation-wise?
Well, the good news is we are getting the cold weather today and tomorrow, and so we get to practice in it. And it's not easy to get your whole game plan in. We went yesterday. We tried to front end a lot on Monday because we saw the weather forecast, and so we squeezed in a lot of our special teams and all that kind of stuff early in the week, and it just left us with just team time essentially for yesterday, today, and then tomorrow. Pregame we can bundle all up and just run through a walk through all of our stuff. But our work days, Tuesday and Wednesday, we definitely front loaded on everything, and so we can just get out there and practice team time in the cold weather.
Yeah. What are your keys then this week, Chase? Not asking for the game plan, but what do you think that you emphasize with your team as you focus on yourself against the Bison?
We have to stop their run up front with D-line, O-line. We've got to dominate. We've got to be more physical than them. And then in the weather elements, ball security is going to be huge. And then, first downs are going to play in a huge critical role. You don't want to try to blame everything on, like, well, my hands are cold dropping passes. Can't hang on to the ball and we're dropping snaps. So just picking up first downs and ball security and keeping those drives sustained. And then it also keeps the ball out of their offense. And that sometimes is the best defense. So I would definitely say physicality up front, owning the line of scrimmage, and then just ball security in this weather elements.
Chase, thanks again for the time. Wish you best luck on Friday night in Buffalo.
All right. Thank you.
We continue our conversation as we're talking about one of our feature playoff game matchups in Class 3A, third-ranked Powell at fifth-ranked Buffalo. It's a nice little 2-3 matchup when you talk about playoff seeds, folks, and visiting with Buffalo coach Rob Hammond. First chance I've had to visit with you this season, Rob. I guess, how would you describe or characterize how your team's playing right now as you get ready for the postseason?
Well, overall, I'd say, we had a good solid year, tied for first in the conference. I feel like maybe, I wish we could have that Riverton game back, but give Coach Lanhart and those kids credit. They played really well and they beat us. And, So here we are. But we're excited. We're hosting a home playoff game. That's a goal all the time. We're fighting the injury bug, honestly, a little bit, like everybody probably is, to start the playoffs. But yeah, we're in a good place. The kids are playing well. We're excited to play at home. We're going to go embrace the cold weather. It's Wyoming playoff football. So things are going well. The kids have had a good year. They're playing well. They're playing hard for each other. And we're just trying to do Buffalo things.
First game, truly, we might see the elements really play a factor. And it sounds like maybe you guys won't have a lot of snow per se to deal with, but really the cold weather, as you mentioned, kind of the playoff atmosphere and playoff football in Wyoming. How do you and how have you been in preparation, kind of gearing up to deal with that for the first major time this season?
Well, I think I've had over the years, I've had every theory in the world about what to do. And I don't think that I still have the right answer, but we've been out in the cold all week long. I do know if we hid from it in a gym, I don't think the kids, minds and bodies would react the right way. So, we're just going out and we're going to anticipate and just trying to execute the game plan and just do the best we can. And we have talked about footing and making sure that these are teenage kids, and I don't want them to show up Friday night just with, without any clothes or whatever. But we're making sure that we're prepared. Last night's practice was pretty cold. I think tonight's practice is going to be pretty cold too. So we're getting used to it. But we're just going to come out and just do our thing. And if we have to make adjustments on the fly, we will. But sometimes they say, some teams have an advantage with speed. With the slick field, or some say they don't. And I honestly don't know. And I've coached in Wyoming and Alaska for 20 years now. And I think each game kind of just is its own beast. So we're going to go out and deal with it, but it can't be an excuse. Both teams playing it. And a lot of times these are the memory makers for the kids anyway. So I say we embrace it and we run for it and make it a game to remember.
Well, it sounds like ball security's, I think probably at the top of your mind, probably at the top of Coach Kistler's mind after I chatted with him. Talk a little bit about Powell. You mentioned a beast. You want to talk about a good football team. What do you see when you see the Panthers on film in terms of what you're expecting Friday night?
Well, you want to talk about a beast and a 3 seed. Powell is a good football team.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you're watching film, you look for holes and you look for areas that you can attack and exploit. And it takes a long time to find some of those holes. They have good size. They have good speed on the outside. They have a couple good backs. They have a dynamic quarterback. Defensively, they're disciplined. The way they play their coverages in the secondary, they're able to free up a couple more guys to stop the run game. So I'm impressed with Powell. Coach Kistler's doing a good job with those guys over there. And I think they're playing hard, and I bet they have a little chip on their shoulder. They lost 2 close games against some good teams, and I'm sure they're thinking they don't deserve the number 3 seed, but here we are, and they're a good football team, and we're going to have to be at our best Friday night to go get a win against these guys. But it's playoffs, and that's what we want it to be. So you're right, they're a good football team. 2 good football teams going after each other, like you just said. I think ball security, field position, just those little things are going to win the football game. So that's what we're going to have to do.
As you focus on yourself, what's been the emphasis this week in practice in terms of big keys for what you want to do this week? Not asking for the game plan, Rob, just, what are you stressing this week to your group?
Well, I hinted at it earlier. Number one, we can't have a bunch of turnovers. And, we say anytime that we can hand the ball to the ref, it's a good play for us. Where the other team doesn't have the ball, that's the first thing that we want to do. And then we need just to be sound and just know that we want to play a 4-quarter game. I anticipate they're a good team. And a lot of times when you play a good team, it takes a little while to settle into things. And if they hit a couple plays here or there early, our guys just need to trust the process, and we need to play a full game. And, that's what we're working on. And then, we need to tackle extremely well. I think a lot of times the way it looks at, the way that they're schemed, they do a good job of getting a hat on a hat when they're blocking. And so we need to make sure if we have those one-on-one opportunities, we need to tackle really well. But, especially in a cold weather game, it's blocking and it's tackling and it's holding on the football. It's, those little things that, especially in the day and age of the internet, I get online and I watch a trillion tricky, cool plays and stuff. But, at the end of it, it's just fundamentals, and that's what's going to win it in the playoffs. So that's what we focused on all week. We haven't done anything fancy. We haven't done anything exotic. It's just, let's just take care of the basics and let the basics lead the way.
Rob, thank you so much for your time. Wish you best of luck against the Panthers Friday night.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you.